So this has been the Indiana Fever's post All-Star break situation. Sorry, well, not post All-Star, August situation. And they went on a big 5-game win streak. So they're 5-3 in August. And of their 3 losses, Kelsey Mitchell's is averaging 35 a game in their 3 losses. Kelsey Mitchell is averaging like 25 a game in their wins. And I don't think people kind of get this. When Kelsey Mitchell drops 30 points this season, the Indiana Fever are 2-4. They're not even they are not a good team when Kelsey Mitchell drops 30, and that's not a knock on Kelsey Mitchell, because we have to look at this in a different way. There's correlation, there is causation. Kelsey Mitchell is the best scorer on this team. We're not questioning that. Kelsey Mitchell is absolutely the best scorer on this team. And this team does not go anywhere without Kelsey Mitchell. They don't. But what is the common denominator with the 3 losses? The common denominator with the 3 losses is awful Caitlin Clark game, bad Caitlin Clark game, bad Caitlin Clark game. Well, I'm not going to say Minnesota's a bad Caitlin Clark game. It was bad by MVP standards, but she was all right against Minnesota. She was okay. But if you look, Chicago, New York, Dallas, Atlanta, Toronto, exceptional in 4 of those 5, and an unbelievable first half against Toronto. So the Indiana Fever need both. There is no question about it. The Indiana Fever need both Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell if they want to win a title. You don't win a title. We've seen how much Caitlin Clark struggles, how much this in Stephanie White's system without another ball handler, someone to just take a little bit of the sting out of the game, somebody to be able to create, because Caitlin can't create the whole time, especially with no pick and roll. She can't just ISO for 4 quarters. Because we've seen, again, when the 2 of them are on the floor, the better player is 90% of the time Caitlin Clark. When in their wins, when the 2 of them are on the floor, they're better with Caitlin. Albeit, they are better, for example, with if Kelsey Mitchell is on with the bench, they're better than if Caitlin's on with the bench, if you get me. So the problem is that the teams that are willing to let Kelsey Mitchell go drop 40 tend to be the teams that beat the Indiana Fever. It tends to be the case that when Kelsey Mitchell it goes off, the Fever lose. Why is that? Because Kelsey dropping 40 tends to happen. It does tend to happen, not every time, but it tends to happen in games where she is predominantly getting her points in isolation situations. Where she is predominantly getting her points in the team are struggling, I'm going to put them on my back. And it's one of those things where you can win playing like that, but you need a certain lineups to win playing like that. And if that is the way the Fever are going to play, you bench Caitlin Clark. If you are, as a team, going to go ISO Kelsey, have Caitlin sit her ass on a bench. Because we've seen how the lineups where ISO Kelsey works. And it's with Ty Harris. It's with the playoff lineup last year. I don't think ISO Kelsey works necessarily with Caitlin Clark. And that's kind of where the problem is. Where when you have games where it feels like they're almost playing against each other, where you are running through Kelsey, we see Caitlin struggle to get any rhythm. And then we see Caitlin trying to force rhythm. And you see all of that stuff. And Caitlin trying to force rhythm is not really, is a weaker player. I think we can all admit that. And it is a real tough one when it comes down to it, to see how, like, it's such an obvious thing where it's like, you can run two Kelsey. Kelsey Mitchell should be taking most shots on this team. She absolutely should be. You run through Caitlin Clark. And that is the problem we've seen in losses, is they're trying to run through Kelsey. I'll give the Minnesota game running through Caitlin, because they did for a large chunk of that game. But there is a massive correlation between Kelsey Mitchell going off and the Fever losing. And the weirdest thing is that when Kelsey Mitchell goes off and the Fever win, it's normally when Caitlin Clark isn't there. And look, this is a small sample size. This team wins nothing without both of them. They win nothing without both of them. Like, when the two of them are on the floor, most of the time, their main offense is Caitlin Clark. And it rightfully is Caitlin Clark. Because, why? Nobody generates more open shots in this league than Caitlin Clark. Nobody does. And the problem is, again, we saw against Dallas, Caitlin not really scoring in rhythm. Caitlin not able to get any rhythm, missing a lot of shots. She was bad. Like, Caitlin was objectively bad against Dallas. And the shots she was taking were, it was one shot every 3 to 4 minutes. And if you know anything about Caitlin, it's like she scores in bunches. She might have 15 points halfway through the second quarter and then not score again till the fourth quarter and then give you 10 straight. And the problem is like when it is the Kelsey Mitchell show. And by the way, the Indiana Fever lose that game by 30 without Kelsey Mitchell. Let's not question that. Like, this is not a knock on Kelsey Mitchell. This is just pointing out the fact that playing through Caitlin Clark to Kelsey Mitchell is much better than playing through Kelsey Mitchell. And I get it down the stretch if you want the ball in Kelsey Mitchell's hands, because she can go one-on-one to the basket, and if you try to steal the ball in Kelsey, she's going to burn you. I get that in those scenarios. But over the course of the game, if you go and the more the ball is in Kelsey Mitchell's hands, the more the Indiana Fever tend to struggle. Like, when Caitlin Clark, if you take away Caitlin Clark's assists, I think the Fever have the least assists all time in the WNBA, minus Caitlin Clark's as a team. And the thing with Kelsey Mitchell is that, as you can see, Kelsey Mitchell is still averaging 25 points per game. In games where Caitlin is dominating the ball, dominating everything about the game. And the big thing about that is that Kelsey Mitchell, as you can see, in losses, she's averaging 4 assists per game. In wins, she's averaging 2. She averages 25 and 2 in wins in August. She's averaging 35 and 4 in losses. So obviously the ball's in her hands more. And it is genuinely a case where Kelsey Mitchell can give you like 25 a game as an off-ball cutter and do it on equal efficiency. She's going to get her 25 anyway. She's that good. She is that good. The problem is that sometimes when she gets her 35, it becomes not even that becomes a situation where Caitlin's struggling. It's like, it tends to be at the expense of Caitlin, and they don't win games without both of them. And if you want to win a game without Caitlin Clark, you sit her. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, if Caitlin is going to be on the floor, the team's gotta go through her. And the other team wants the ball out of her hands. The other coaches want to do that. And if you're Steph White, you can't just let it happen.